Converting decimals and fractions. The objectives in this lesson are 1. To convert a decimal to a fraction, 2. To convert a decimal to a mixed number, 3. To convert a fraction to a decimal, and 4. To convert a mixed number to a decimal. To convert a decimal to a fraction, 1. Write the digits of the decimal number without the decimal point as the numerator. The denominator of the fraction is a 1 followed by as many zeros as there are places in the decimal, the place value of the last digit. 3. Write the fraction in lowest terms. .48. Write 48 in the numerator without a decimal point. Since there are 2 digits behind the decimal point, the denominator is 100. Now reduce the fraction to lowest terms by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 4. So 48 100ths reduces to 12 25ths. 0.375. Write 375 in the numerator without a decimal point. Since there are 3 digits behind the decimal point, the denominator is 1000. Now reduce the fraction to lowest terms by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 25. You can still reduce again by 5 to get the final answer of 3/8. Convert each decimal to a fraction in lowest terms. 0.57, we have 57 in our numerator, 57 tenths, hundredths. And 57 100ths is already in simplest form. The next example, 0.08, we have 8 tenths, hundredths. We can simplify 8 100ths. Let's divide the numerator and the denominator by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And 100 divided by 4 is 25. So we have 2 25ths. .132 equals 132 tenths, hundredths, thousandths. We can divide the numerator and denominator by 4 in this one as well. And so that reduces to 33 over 250. To convert a decimal to a mixed number, 1. The whole number part of the decimal is the whole number in your mixed number. 2. Write the digits of the decimal number without the decimal point as the numerator. 3. The denominator of the fraction is a 1 followed by as many zeros as there are places in the decimal, the place value of the last digit. And 4. Write the fraction in lowest terms. 6.5. The 6 remains as the whole number part of your mixed number. Write the 5 as the numerator without the decimal point. Since there is 1 digit behind the decimal point, the denominator is 10. Now reduce the fraction to lowest terms by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 5. 6 1/2. 32.017. The 32 remains as the whole number part of your mixed number. Write the 17 as the numerator without the decimal point or the 0. Since there are 3 digits behind the decimal point, the denominator is 1000. The fraction cannot be reduced, so that is your final answer, 32 17 thousandths. Convert each decimal to a mixed number in lowest terms. 14 will be the whole number. 57 will be our numerator. So we have 14 and 57 tenths, hundredths. 14 and 57 hundredths. 9.108. The whole number part of our mixed number is 9. 108 is our numerator. 9 and 108 tenths, hundredths, thousandths. This needs to be simplified. We can divide the numerator and the denominator by 4. And that will give us 9 and 27 or 250. 9 and 27 250ths. In the third example, 6.15, we have 6 and 15 tenths hundredths. To simplify this, we can divide the numerator and the denominator by 5. We end up with 6 and 3/20ths. To convert a fraction to a decimal, 1, divide the numerator by the denominator. The decimal answer should either terminate or repeat. If your remainder is 0, that is a terminating decimal. If the digits repeat, that is a repeating decimal. Put a bar over the repeating digits. 13/25. Divide 13 by 25 as a long division problem. 25 does not divide into 13, so you must add a decimal point and a 0 to be able to divide. Make sure you put the decimal point straight up into the quotient, then divide as usual. Keep adding zeros and dividing until the remainder equals 0. Since the remainder is 0, this is called a terminating decimal. (52 hundredths). 0.52. Convert to a repeating decimal, 5/6. Divide 5 by 6. 6 does not divide into 5, so you will need to add a decimal and a 0 to start the division. Notice that the 3 is starting to repeat in the quotient after the 8. Write the decimal with a bar only over the 3. This is a repeating decimal. Convert each fraction to a decimal, 7/8. 7 divided by 8. 8 won't go into 7. I'm adding a decimal and a 0. 8 goes into 70 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. 70 minus 64 is 6. Add a 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. Bringing down another 0, 8 goes into 45 times. 5 times 8 is 40. And our remainder is 0. So our division problem has terminated. So we have a terminating decimal, 0.875. Convert each fraction to a decimal, 5 divided by 9. 9 won't go into 5. Adding a decimal and a 0. 9 goes into 55 times. 9 times 5 is 45. 50 minus 45 is 5. Notice if we bring down another 0, 9 goes into 55 times again. And our decimal is already starting to repeat. So we only need to put 1 5 in our answer. The 5 repeats, so we'll put a bar over it. 4/5. To change to a decimal, 4 divided by 5. 5 won't go into 4. Add your decimal. Add a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. And our decimal is already terminated. 0.8. 3/11. That's 3 divided by 11. 11 won't go into 3. Add a 0. 11 goes into 30 twice. 2 times 11 is 22. 30 minus 22 is 8. Add a 0. 11 goes into 80 7 times. 7 times 11 is 77. If I add another 0, 11 goes into 30 twice. 2 times 11 is 22. If I bring one more 0 down, notice 11 goes into 80 again 7 times. So you can see our decimal is starting to repeat. 0.2727. It's the 27 that's repeating. So I'll write my answer as 0.27 with a bar over the 2 and the 7. To convert a mixed number to a decimal, 1. The whole number part of the mixed number is the whole number in your decimal. 2. Divide the numerator of the fraction by the denominator to get a decimal. Add that decimal to the whole number. Convert to a decimal 3 1/4. Keep the 3 as the whole number part of your decimal. Divide 1 by 4. The decimal part of the number is 0.25. Now add the 3 to the 0.25 to get 3.25. Convert each mixed number to a decimal, 10 5/9. So we're going to do 5 divided by 9. 9 won't go into 5. 9 goes into 50 5 times. 9 times 5 is 45. 50 minus 45 is 5. If I add another 0 and bring it down, notice 9 goes into 55 times. We have ourselves a repeating decimal. So the whole part of our decimal number is the 10, the whole number part. So our answer will be 10.5 with a bar over the 5 repeating. 234 3/5. The whole part of my decimal number will be 234. 3 divided by 5. 5 goes into 3 0 times. Add your decimal. Add a 0. 5 goes into 36 times. 6 times 5 is 30. We have a remainder of 0, a terminating decimal. So our answer will be 234.6. 6 1/8. 6 will be the whole part of our decimal number. 1 divided by 8. 8 won't go into 1. Add your decimal. Add a 0. 8 goes into 10 once. 1 times 8 is 8. 10 take away 8 is 2. Add another 0. 8 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. Add one more 0. 8 goes into 45 times. 5 times 8 is 40. 40 take away 40 is 0. So our decimal is terminated. So our answer is 6.125. Review of lesson objectives. After completing this lesson, you should be able to 1. Convert a decimal to a fraction. 2. Convert a decimal to a mixed number. 3. Convert a fraction to a decimal. And 4. Convert a mixed number to a decimal.